if we were encouraged to do what we love to do, seen, heard, and validated for what we love to do, and automatically I've always noticed that when you're doing that thing, the last thing that you're thinking about is drugs and instant gratification.
Aesthetically, right? Family dynamics, very secure, very stable, no fragmentation in the relationship. Mum and dad on the same page, they're singing from the same hymn book. You guys know what to expect. There was no deviation, but would it come with a level of understanding that you guys are brought up in two different cultures, you guys are torn between two different cultures, and kind of helping in those conversations in terms of identity formation? Would you say that would have been really helpful and not made it so vulnerable for drugs to enter in?
That's a really good question, because the thing that now that I've realized in my life is that when we're not pursuing what people called, our highest passion, our purpose, our telos, whatever you want to call it, when we're doing something that is really far away of what we genuinely love to do, then all we feel like doing is seeking instant gratification. And sometimes it can be a feedback mechanism that we need to come back to what we truly love to do. Now, what's interesting is I think that because, like you said, in a family where, they had good hearts, but they weren't able to recognize us for our strengths, we weren't able, I think what it may have done was it didn't allow us, or didn't give us the permission at times to step into what we truly love to do and make something of that. Because if we were encouraged to do what we love to do, seen, heard, and validated for what we love to do, and we were encouraged to do that, automatically I've always noticed that when you're doing that thing, the last thing that you're thinking about is drugs and instant gratification. So from that perspective, yes, yeah.
Any other myths that we have in our community?
Oh, okay. So one thing that always comes out, and I don't know if I would address this exactly as a myth, but I would just say it would be thinking that the way to handle things would be just absolute authority. Like I remember, and this is not personally from me, but seeing it from Kenneth's angle, when Kenneth was struggling with so much shame around everything that he was dealing with, I remember my dad going, yep, this is what we're going to do. He's not going to go anywhere. And here's the thing, he was doing the best that he, thought with the tools and the resources and the level of consciousness that he had. But I remember that when my dad, I guess, gave him that type of response, it worsened things completely. So I think the myth there would probably be that that a hardcore authoritarian approach or punishment would actually bring good outcomes, when most of the time what they really need is love. And I remember there was periods of times where you actually just saying to him, well, you never really said this to me, or you never really said this to me, or you always spoke to me this way. And I wonder what might have happened if there was love that was showing rather than, I guess, a harsh approach. Yeah.